America, a nation perpetually in conversation with itself, debating its identity, its values, and its future. This internal dialogue reaches a fever pitch every 4 years when a new president takes the oath of office, ushering in a new chapter in the American story. The presidencies of Donald Trump and Joe Biden stand as a testament to this enduring truth, representing two starkly different visions for the nation's trajectory. Trump, the outsider, the businessman who had never held elected office, promised to make America great again. His was a message of disruption, a rejection of the status quo, and a pledge to put America first. Biden, the seasoned politician, the former vice president, offered a return to normalcy, a promise of unity, and a commitment to restoring America's standing on the world stage. These contrasting visions played out across every facet of American life, from the economy to healthcare, from foreign policy to immigration, from climate change to social justice. The question of who was the better president, however, is not one that can be answered with simple metrics or partisan pronouncements. Ultimately, it is a question that each American must answer for themselves, weighing the achievements and criticisms of each administration against their own deeply held values and priorities. This essay delves into the heart of this complex comparison, examining the key policy areas that define the Trump and Biden presidencies. It seeks to provide a balanced and informative assessment, highlighting both the successes and shortcomings of each leader. The goal is not to crown a victor, but to equip readers with the knowledge and context necessary to form their own conclusions about this pivotal period in American history. For in the end, the legacy of these two presidents will be written not just in the history books, but in the hearts and minds of the American people. The economy, the lifeblood of a nation, the engine of prosperity, and often the yardstick by which presidents are judged. Both Trump and Biden inherited economies grappling with unique challenges and opportunities. Their approaches to tackling these challenges, however, could not have been more different. Trump, a businessman by trade, entered office with a promise to unleash the American economy through deregulation and tax cuts. His signature legislative achievement, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, slashed corporate tax rates and aimed to stimulate investment and job creation. The stock market soared to new heights, and unemployment rates, particularly for minorities, reached historic lows. Critics, however, argued that Trump's policies primarily benefited the wealthy, exacerbating income inequality. They also pointed to the trade war with China, which, while intended to protect American jobs, disrupted supply chains and hurt specific industries. The COVID-19 pandemic, of course, dealt a significant blow to the global economy, and the U.S. was not immune. While Trump enacted some relief measures, the pandemic's economic fallout cast a long shadow over his presidency. Biden, inheriting an economy reeling from the pandemic, prioritized recovery and relief. His administration passed the American Rescue Plan, a $1.9 trillion stimulus package aimed at providing direct aid to individuals and businesses, expanding unemployment benefits, and supporting vaccine distribution. The economy rebounded, adding jobs at a robust pace. However, Biden also faced criticism for rising inflation, which eroded consumer purchasing power and became a political liability. His focus on clean energy and domestic manufacturing, while lauded by some, was seen by others as government overreach and a contributing factor to inflation. The economic legacies of Trump and Biden remain intertwined with the unprecedented challenges of their respective times, leaving economists and historians to debate their long-term impacts. Healthcare, a fundamental right in many developed nations, remains a contentious issue in the United States. Both Trump and Biden confronted a healthcare system grappling with rising costs, access issues, and deep partisan divides. Their approaches to addressing these challenges, however, diverged significantly. Trump, throughout his campaign, vowed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. While he failed to secure a full repeal, his administration took steps to weaken the ACA, including eliminating the individual mandate penalty and expanding access to short-term health plans. Critics argued that these actions undermined the ACA's goal of expanding coverage and would lead to millions losing health insurance. Biden, in contrast, campaigned on strengthening and expanding the ACA. His administration increased subsidies for individuals purchasing insurance through the ACA marketplaces, leading to record enrollment. Furthermore, the Inflation Reduction Act, a landmark piece of legislation passed by the Biden administration, included provisions allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices, a move long sought by Democrats to lower prescription drug costs. The contrasting approaches of Trump and Biden on healthcare underscore the deep ideological divide that permeates American politics. While Trump favored market-based solutions and sought to reduce the role of government in healthcare, Biden championed a more active role for government in ensuring access to affordable healthcare. Their legacies in this realm will continue to shape the healthcare landscape for years to come. In an increasingly interconnected world, the foreign policy decisions of American presidents reverberate far beyond the nation's borders. Both Trump and Biden faced a complex geopolitical chessboard, with challenges ranging from rising authoritarianism to the threat of climate change. Their approaches to navigating this complex landscape, however, differed dramatically. Trump, espousing an America-first foreign policy, sought to reassert American dominance on the world stage. He withdrew the U.S. from the Trans-Pacific Partnership Trade Agreement, the Paris Climate Accord, and the Iran nuclear deal, arguing that these agreements were disadvantageous to American interests. He engaged in a trade war with China, imposed tariffs on goods from allies and adversaries alike, and cultivated close relationships with authoritarian leaders. Trump's supporters lauded his willingness to challenge the status quo and prioritize American interests. Critics, however, argued that his approach damaged alliances, undermined global institutions, and diminished America's standing in the world. His decision to withdraw U.S. troops from Afghanistan, while intended to end America's longest war, was widely criticized for its chaotic execution and the humanitarian crisis that ensued. Biden, upon taking office, sought to repair relationships with allies and re-engage with international organizations. He rejoined the Paris Climate Accord, sought to revive the Iran nuclear deal, and strengthen ties with NATO allies. He also took a tough stance against Russia's invasion of Ukraine, rallying international support for sanctions and providing military aid to Ukraine. Biden's approach, characterized by diplomacy and multilateralism, was welcomed by many world leaders. However, he faced criticism for the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan, which tarnished his administration's image on the world stage. The Biden administration's approach to China, seeking to balance competition with cooperation, also drew scrutiny from both sides of the aisle. The contrasting foreign policies of Trump and Biden reflect fundamentally different views of America's role in the world. Their legacies in this realm will continue to shape global dynamics for decades to come,